Climbing Mount Fuji the first time. According to the internet here, it says that Mount Fuji, or Fujisan, is Japan's iconic, sacred, and tallest peak, 3,776 meters, an active stratovolcano near Tokyo, famous for its stunning symmetrical cone, UNESCO World Heritage status, and inspiring art like Hokusai's prints. It's a major pilgrimage site, cultural symbol, and popular destination for hiking, especially during the summer climbing season, with trails starting from various fifth stations and offering breathtaking views, especially sunrise, Roraiko, from the summit. This is my story. Let's see. My clothes on. I can't see anything. Okay. Let's see. Let's open this up here. How do I open this up? Hi. Only a fool climbs Mount Fuji twice. That is a famous saying here in Japan. I don't know where it came from or why, but it told me that I was destined or ordained to do just that. I was 50 years old the first time I climbed Mount Fuji, and I was 60 or so the second time. The first time, I was guided by a professional climber and his 12-year-old son. The second time, I climbed alone about when I was around 60 years old. On that first ascent, my guide was a member of the Rinri Hojinkai. That is the morals study group that I belonged to for 15 years. He was the president of his chapter, and I had joined my chapter the year before. At breakfast after one morning seminar, I heard that he was a seasoned climber and that he had climbed Mount Fuji from all four approaches. I told him that I was eager to climb Mount Fuji and asked him if it was possible for him to guide me up. He agreed. He would also bring his 12-year-old son, who had also never climbed Mount Fuji. I purchased hiking boots and rain gear and a backpack for the occasion. These days, I still use that rain gear when I ride my bicycle to the school and back on rainy days. On the other hand, I used the hiking boots only once more on my second climb up and down Mount Fuji. For this climb, my friend picked me up at my house and we drove to one of the parking areas specially for climbers. From there, we took a shuttle bus to the Subaru 5th station on the Yoshida Trail. This is the most popular route, so it can get crowded. The 5th station is where the majority of climbers start. After checking out some souvenirs for a few minutes, we started our ascent. To be sure, I was not a veteran climber, so I was going at my pace. I kept up with the main body of climbers going up. Sometimes hikers did pass us, but the truth is that my friend's son was in a hurry. He was passing more and more people as we climbed. His father had a dilemma. Should he stay with his son or with me? He was going up to find his son and then back down the trail to check on me. At one point, he had his son stop and they waited for me. I wasn't that slow, but as it was my first time, I was being cautious. The slope from the 5th station starts easy, but the nearer you get to the summit, the steeper it becomes. At the beginning of our climb, we passed a police box. That was a surprise. There was no policeman inside, though. A little later, the three of us stopped for a rest. We had some fruit as a snack and something to drink. The skies were cloudy and it was cool. From here, the slope was getting steeper. Soon, we were back at it. We made the aid station before dark. We had a simple curry rice dinner. He had a beer, but I didn't. My friend also brought fruit, which we shared here. Of course, I had prepared nothing, as is my wont. My friend had also made reservations for the night here. That was interesting. We all slept under the roof of this long building. We had assigned sleeping bags, and they were packed together to fit in as many climbers as possible. One consequence of that was that as we slept, if one person were to shift his position during the night, everyone pretty much had to shift. It had a domino effect. With that and the periodic snoring, I didn't sleep very much. Oops. Let's see. Everyone started getting up and ready to climb around 1 a.m. No one wanted to be late and miss the sunrise. The bad news was that it was raining and it was very windy. So from the 8th station to the top, 10th station, we walked up the switchbacks. It's very steep up here. Against the wind going east, and then with basically our backs to the wind going west. There were quite a few people who could not continue in this weather. Some were hunched down just waiting on the trail. So my friend and his son got up quickly. I moved at my pace, but faster now, as the climbing was easier on the switchbacks. And it was cold, so I wanted to get to the top as soon as possible. And I did reach the top, and when I did, my friends were nowhere to be found. I couldn't enter the restaurant as it was full. I was first in line. I looked over at the vending machines. Not surprising to see them up here, as they are quite ubiquitous in Japan. Finally, some people left the restaurant, and I was allowed to enter. My friends were nowhere to be found. I bought a cup of green tea in a paper cup. $3. But I didn't drink it. I just held it in my hands to try and warm them up. Maybe 10 minutes later, father and son appeared at the front door. I waved to them, and they waved back, but they were not allowed in. Too crowded. It was at maximum capacity. And they did enter. After they did enter, they explained why I was able to beat them to the restaurant. The story is, there's a kind of a grotto near the summit. Some people stopped there to give thanks for a safe climb. Well, they waited for me there and finally decided to go into the grotto to give thanks. That is when I passed by. I had no idea about the grotto. After a little more waiting, the father went back down the trail looking for me. He gave that up, and then he and his son came to the top and found me inside the restaurant. Needless to say, there was no sunrise to be seen this rainy, cloudy morning. So, after we warmed up, we started back down. It was light now, and cloudy and drizzling. It wasn't miserable. It was all part of this adventure. As the weather called for rain this day, most of the climbers were prepared. Many of them brought umbrellas with rain gear. As we descended the mountain from the top, there were many climbers using their umbrellas down below us. There were a variety of colors. They were all the colors of the rainbow and more. It was a unique sight. Although we weren't able to see the sunrise, I consider myself lucky that we saw this splendid scene of those colored umbrellas moving slowly down the switchbacks below us. Mm-hmm. Rick. Hi. Live. Climbing Mount Fuji. How do I get back in here? Hi. Live. Help. Climbing Mount Fuji the first time. Live. Yes, it's live. So am I. Live room. Go to the live room. Hey, here we are at the live room. I can end this now. Thank you. Yes, I want to end this.